Hello everybody. I'm going to do a follow-up video to hot unit removal on the WE MP5 SD. As of recent, I've been getting loads of questions of how I got on with the setup on the gun, what I'm running, what do I recommend. As with most airsoft guns, some brands prefer different parts to others. Back in the video, I recommended a modified tan hop rubber with like a H-nub, and in all honesty, after testing that, after that video, you have to excuse the dog, the gun just did not like that combination whatsoever. It wouldn't get on with it. It just double fed. It would struggle to hop the BBs. It just didn't like it at all. Now, what I personally find with WE guns is they tend to quite like maple leaf parts. I found that because I used to own a WEG36 and a WEG34 Glock, and they were both the same. I ran maple leaf parts in them and it performed superbly. So I'm going to run down what I now run in this gun. Now, this gun has only been skirmished once, and in typical WE fashion is these the MP5s I find with just the ones that I've owned is they tend to suffer with a bit of bolt bounce, and what it does is it jams the trigger unit. So if you're finding, like, another little tip here is if you find that the selector's not working properly and the gun's not firing right, trigger's sticking, pop the lower off and check to see if there's any BBs inside the trigger unit, because that's happened to me once. I had 2 BBs in there and it was just messing up with the whole gun. But anyway, off the tangent, let's get into here. Now, I've got the end cap off. So first thing is what I recommend that you get for the SD is some barrel spacers. Now, Silverback Airsoft, who create the SRS, create a couple of these barrel spacers for it. Here they are. They're a little hard to find, but they do the job superbly. Now, I do not know if these are the same as the suppressor spacers for the actual Silverback itself, the SRS. These could be a different size. I found these on firesupport.co.uk. I highly recommend them. I've been using them for quite a while to get loads of bits and pieces for my guns. They come up in stock on there every so often, so if you see them up for sale, I suggest you get a pair. You should not glue the end cap on or thread lock it, because you need to put these on after you put the suppressor onto the gun. These are good because the MP5's barrel length, so the standard barrel length, is a very sort of like it's its own barrel length, so it's nothing you can pick one off up the shelf. So this inner barrel that I have here is shorter than stock, so it actually sits a couple of mil or a few mil back from the end cap. So what I was finding before on my previous one I owned of these was I would get BB strikes. So another helpful tip is, if you can't get any barrel spacers, and I recommend you get these, because then if you, as I said, if you make like tape ones, you won't be able to get the suppressor back off or on, because you could probably remove this end, but you need to keep the suppressor as one to fit it onto the gun, apart from the end cap. Failing that is you drill out the end cap, because it is slightly smaller diameter. It goes from one diameter to another at the very end. So moving on, pop the pin out. What am I running in here? Now, I don't really want to take this apart. I'm just going to leave it as is. So the eagle eye of you will probably know by looking at the tip is this is Maple Leaf's new Crazy Jet barrel. This is it's either a 300mm or a 310. I can't remember the size exactly. I think these are still brass. It's probably just got a nickel coating on them. I'm not a massive fan of these types of barrels, but they seem to work. So yeah, a lot of people say like the whole Crazy Jet system's a gimmick, same with the TNT. But as I said, like WE guns seem to really like maple leaf parts. So that's the barrel I'm using. Hop rubber is a 2020 Autobot, I believe, so it's like a slightly revised design, and it's just the Omega tensioner. And from when I managed to fix the gun on the day I skirmished it, it had one full good game, and this was probably around June, so the weather was really good. Obviously temperature affects hop up performance. You know, a nice warm day, the rubber will grip well. And I use 0.28 gram BBs, G&G, because you can get them quite cheap on bulk and they're decent quality. And the gun was performing fine. It would hop rounds perfectly on all fire modes, so single, semi, it was fine. 3-round burst, it would just be a nice stream of 3 BBs, and even on full auto the gun would just rattle off and the rounds would just head straight. Yeah, range, don't know. You know, I don't have any evidence, or, you know, I'm not the perfect at guessing range. You know, it could be up to 50 meters plus, easy. But from what I could tell, the performance was stellar. It is what I wanted. So yeah, so basically, would I recommend this setup? Yeah, sure, go for it. So recapping, it's a 50-degree maple leaf bucking, the Omega tensioner, and then as I said, it's either 310 or 300mm Crazy Jet, 2 silverback suppressor spacers, and that's it. It's good to go. Performs really well. I'm happy. I won't change this setup because it works for the gun. And that's kind of what you want when you're playing around with your airsoft guns, is just finding the setup that's right for the gun. You know, guns are different. You know, this is a recent acquisition. Eagle eye people will probably be able to tell what it is looking down here. You know, hop setups for these are hard to come by. So I'm having to use the standard inner barrel and some maple leaf hop parts. And unfortunately this was a lockdown purchase back in January, so I don't know how she's going to perform just yet until I can get filled it in the warmer weather. That's the only time I'm ever going to field this gun, is during a warm, clear day. Yeah, so again, this might work really well with maple leaf stuff, or it might not. I might have to find a different route to go down, because unfortunately the hop rubber that I got in this gun was, you know, totally useless. It was not usable anymore. Annoyingly, maple leaf only make quite hard hot rubbers for this, but again, it's just a case of trying different things. My Marui MWS. Now, if you've not heard of these guns, you know, you should look into the TM MWS. These run really well with the modified tan bucking, which is what I was going to tried running in this, but it didn't work. And 6-gun smithing, they're brass nub. That's it. All you need to do, keep the standard barrel, give it a clean or a polish. And this thing is insane. It is brilliant with that hop setup. Absolute beast. And you know, I can use this on a cold day and it will be perfect. On a warm day, it will be perfect. And it hops 2/8 far. It's like, I've no idea what the range is. You know, as again, like a lot of airsofters just guesstimate, but it reaches out and it is absolutely perfect. I won't ever change that barrel setup. So yeah, so coming off the tangent, you know, with airsoft, a lot of stuff is experimenting. It's playing around and trying to find what works for you. Not just for me, it's for you as well. So, you know, if you find a different barrel, rubber and nub setup that works for you, for what you need to do in CQB or outdoors, woodland, that's fine. As long as it works for you, that's all that matters. Obviously, I can recommend these setups to you, but it's about your own experimentation of finding what works for you. I hope this helps, and I hope you have a really good weekend.